What's about Mateo that enables him as a true freshman to be in the position he is for you, possibly be an immediate contributor?
Yep, well, it starts with the good Lord, his genetics, his parents, and then from there what he's done from a work ethic standpoint. I think one really cool thing is what you get typically with a Bosco individual. Coach Negro and Coach King have done an elite job of preparing those young men, and I've known the DC there all the way back to the Alabama days. We've had a strong connection, and it's pretty cool to know there's a lot of carryover schematically, within the defense. So I think he has a little bit of a head start. Obviously, when you arrive here mid-year, it's an enormous advantage when you got the type of work ethic that Mateo has, as far as working, not just when the camera's on, but guys constantly in the meeting room, constantly challenge himself to fix his mistakes. So he's done a nice job.
Heard a lot of really good things about Blake Purchase this fall. What have you seen from him since he got to town?
Yeah, another gifted young player that we're excited about. He, unlike Mateo, came here in June, so you're certainly behind the curve, from a schematic and preparation standpoint. Done a really nice job of retaining the information, and again, that's our goal here. I think really committed to is bring as many young men with alike mindsets, and not necessarily just about the talent, but going through the recruiting process and evaluating these young men from not just how they're playing on the field, but from a character standpoint, from a football IQ standpoint, from a mental toughness standpoint. And Blake's did a nice job representing all those attributes.
What was your assessment of how you guys performed in the scrimmage Saturday?
I think we've always got room for improvement. It's been an enormous focus of our culture to attack the ball. So I've been impressed the way the guys have done that. I think we're doing our best to recognize where we went wrong last season from a third down winning standpoint, from a pass defense standpoint, and I feel like the guys have approached the preparation the right way of trying to improve that, and that showed some on Saturday.
The first scrimmage, I think Dan talked about how the offense started pretty well, and the second scrimmage you made it sound like you thought you guys started pretty well. I don't know, did you challenge your guys to maybe start a little quicker? And if you want to see improvement from one scrimmage to the next, you had an area where you said, hey, my guys came out ready to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's always important for us to debrief of what's happened last. So, our attempt is to always never have wasted pain and improve from the last performance. So, absolutely, I think the first scrimmage, our first drive, was somewhere in the 12 or 13 play range. And this last go around, all three groups were able to get off the field. The first group still hadn't extended. They allowed a long third and long conversion, and then had a nice red zone stop. And then the other groups, ended it with a turnover and I believe a 3 and out. So we're always trying to do that. And what we do is, we show them the information, the statistics, what happened the week before, where we went right, where we went wrong, and try to better that every time we come out.
Through 3 weeks, what have you learned about the competitive character and the toughness of your defense?
Yeah, we're growing every day. That's the challenge. So, we've got this opportunity, in front of us when we wake up. And so it all starts with the coaching staff, the juice we're bringing, how we're approaching the meetings, the attention to detail, the organization, and then, challenging each player, to carrying that same focus out onto the field, the walkthroughs, the individual drills, and then, of course, the competition of team itself. So I think these guys have grown. I think these guys have certainly answered the bell of a lot of these turnovers have occurred because of the relentless effort, and challenging those guys, no matter how hot it is or what the smoke level is, or it don't matter. It's our opportunity to improve, and that's how we're trying to approach every day.
Whether it's third down or pass rush and areas you're looking to improve, talk about wanting to be respected and feared defensively. What are the end results? What are the targets for this group to where you feel like you'll have not just improvement, but to reach the level you want to reach?
Yeah, for us to be a respected and feared defense, we got to get off the field on third down. We've got to affect the passer. So that's part of it. So every single day we're challenging the guys that. you know, we're charting our competitions, how many times we won or lost versus the offense in a third down drill or a 2-minute drill. You know, stimulating that competition as much as possible. And again, you know, we feel like now that we've been here for, I think it's now 18 months as a staff, it's awesome when you can really hone in and implement the culture that you want to push and bring in young individuals that have a like mindset to push that, you know, and that's where I think you start to really grow as a program, and that's our goal.
A lot of the interior defensive linemen added weight this past year. Was that a goal in particular for that group, where like the defensive line, I think, added across the board about 50, 60 pounds from the starting group alone? What does that do for a guy like Casey in particular?
Yeah, I think, you know, Casey arrived here last year in the late summertime, didn't have spring ball, and was coming off of an ACL. So he certainly pushed himself and almost, you know, threw himself in the fire almost, you know, as far as escalating his treatment and aggressive rehab. So I think Casey's now, you know, doing his best to try to recognize that his health and his power, you know, he's someone that's really powerful in the weight room. That's what I'm really challenged Casey at, is to try to translate that power onto the field. Obviously we didn't have Popo last season. You know, Popo is a great addition for us, that offers that a size speed combination. You know, the additions of Jordan Birch, along with some quality young players. You know, it starts up front, and so we made a big stride last season. Obviously, until the last rival game, having a real poor performance on defeating the run, building up to that point, you know, being a top 20 rush defense, and ending, I think we ended as the 30th, you know, best rush defense in the country. Not to our standard, but it's a place that where we grew, and that's a place that we want to continue to grow on. You know, for us to be successful or to be able to compete at the level we want to, we've got to stop the run.
From a live tackling standpoint, how ready do you think this team is for an actual game setting?
Well, we'll find out here soon. So, you know, I can give you predictions or guesses, but you always find out, you know, if you look at the body of week one across the entire nation, you look at week one and you look at the bowl game.
DC in all the
Yes,
right?
who is this? This is the guy.
Yes, this is him.
If you look at you know, that pattern, you know, that's where the most missed tackles occur, and that's where the most penalties occur. So that's what we're going to be challenging our guys of, is playing with discipline and control, you know, and making sure we can tackle individuals like this.
Elite athletes.
Okay.
Thanks, Tosh.